scaling an agency is so much easier than what people make it out to be online. Like, to be honest, if you want to get to 5, 10, 15, 20, $30,000 a month, like, you do not really have to pull any magic tricks. There's no crazy mechanisms, there's no secret sauce. It is an extremely simple equation. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to scale an agency. So if you have already started an agency, no matter SMMA, lead generation agency, AI automation, whatever it might be, this is going to be really good stuff for you if you are below like 20, 30,000 a month. And also if you're thinking about starting an agency or starting an online business, this is really going to apply to you as well. And just also for context, I'm going to be using B2B lead generation agencies as an example because in the past like 2 years, we have built over 500 lead generation agencies, helped people scale to $10,000 to $100,000 a month. We have sent millions of cold emails, generated tens of millions of dollars for our clients, and booked just tens of thousands of meetings. And through that, we have just created a really predictable process and mastered this really well. But as long as you just have an IQ higher than your shoe size, you will be able to take all of these concepts and like this whole strategy and implement it into any agency there is out there. So don't worry about it. But yeah, so first thing we have to understand for all of this to make sense is the fact that business is just, at the end of the day, just inputs and outputs. And I know if you have watched any YouTube videos, if you have read in business books, you have seen this concept probably 1,000 times. And I guarantee you this video is not going to be just me regurgitating the idea of inputs and outputs, but it is a fundamental concept that we have to understand. We have inputs, we have something happening, we are doing something, we are putting something into the system, we are putting something into the process. And then depending on how well this process has been created and honed in, we are going to get certain outputs. And in business, it usually is we are putting in work, we are doing some kind of activities, we are sending cold emails, doing cold calls, whatever it might be. And that process goes into our agency and how the agency has built. And then we get out of the agency, we get case studies, we get client results, we get testimonials, and we also get money and freedom and all of these things. And then of course, something that we have to also take into consideration is the feedback, which is huge. Is every single time when you get some kind of outputs, you get feedback from it. So maybe the results were better than expected or worse than expected, or maybe you saw some kind of a flaw. You take that feedback and boom, you change your inputs based on that, and you can also like take the feedback and change something in the process to get higher outputs. Like it's like the same thing if you go manufacturing line, boom, like this is how you really want to look at it. You have these manufacturing machines. If you ever look at a manufacturing like facility, there's something going into the machine, like here, something going into the machine, and then the machine assembles the input that you put in, and you get some kind of result. In this case, it would be a car, or it can be a donut, whatever. But there needs to be some ingredients going into the donut machine, and then the machine pushes out donuts. And depending on how well that donut machine has been created, the better donuts you get, you know. And if we just look at it in the concept of a B2B lead generation agency, and once again, you can replace the word B2B lead gen with an AI automation agency or a TikTok ad agency or UGC agency or whatever agency you want to replace it with. But here pretty much it's the same thing. You're putting in energy, so you're putting in time and effort and money and focus. So effort, like energy can be measured in multiple different ways. Energy can be time, energy also can be money, because money is just stored time. You're using other people's time. So you're putting in time, money, focus, work, blood, sweat, and tears. Then that energy goes into your agency. In this case, B2B lead generation agency. And then based on how well your B2B lead generation agency is built, how good your niche is, how good your offer is, how good your landing page, VSL, cold email campaign, sales process, fulfillment, and all of these things is, you get some kind of results in. Like, this is what a lot of people don't understand. They always focus on the inputs that they should be doing, like, oh, how many cold emails should I send, and how many this and how many that should I be doing, etc. But you need to understand that this is like the process here acts as almost like a multiplier or like a conversion mechanism. So if you put 10 units of energy, and let's say just for simplicity's sake, 10 hours, we use the unit of measures hour. We put 10 hours into a business. Let's say we spend 10 hours on prospecting. Based on the business, we are going to get different results. Like if you take someone's completely new agency and they haven't honed in their niche, they haven't honed in their offer, they don't have good case studies, they don't have a good sales letter, they don't have a good VSL, they don't have a good sales process, these 10 hours of prospecting might result into 5 meetings or 1 client or $1,000 created. 10 hours equals $1,000. But then if you replace this agency with someone's agency that is more built and honed and dialed in, they have great case studies, great via sales gates, great sales that are good sales pros, all of these things, it's more honed in. This 10 hours of prospecting can result into $50,000 of revenue generated. So it's not always about the inputs that you're doing and the amount of work you're doing. You always have to pay attention to the multiplier that you're getting. And the better your agency is, and the better it's being built, and the better it's built, the higher multiplier we're gonna get on the energy that you put in. Yeah. So, and also the same goes if we replace this with, let's say we put in $10, we're gonna get a different amount of results back based on the agency that we are putting the $10 in. And the reason why I wanted to demonstrate this and just wanted to quickly go over this aspect before we actually go into the nitty-gritty details is because when you think about your business like this, it makes it so much easier to scale and build. Because a lot of people, they always focus on different secrets and tactics and what is the best niche, what is the best offer, what is the best guarantee, what is the best cold email script, etc. Those things matter, but it really all boils down into energy and the pros and the multiplier we're getting. So when we understand this concept, it's so much more simple when proceeding, because we really the only 2 things that you need to do or need to increase to scale your agency is we need to get more energy into the system, and we also need to get a higher multiplier. So the multiplier and the energy. So how much energy we are pushing in. This is the only thing. So if you are sitting at your office or sitting at your house, sitting in your bedroom and think, okay, I need to really scale my agency, really the 2 things you only have to think about is, okay, how can I put in more energy into the system? How can I put in more inputs? So increasing your volume, working more, putting in more energy, what it might be. Or how can I get a higher multiplier? How can you increase your closing rate, your meeting book rate, your prices, your retention, etc. So this is really what it all boils down to. And it's way easier because you actually have a clear roadmap in front of your eyes on what to do. So pretty much what we're going to be focusing on in this video is how you can create more energy and put more energy into the system, and also how you can get a higher multiplier. So first, to go into the energy. So how to generate more energy inputs. Boom. So this also, what we have to understand is this depends a lot on the stage of your business, the way you generate energy. When you are just getting started out, it's just gonna be you. You probably don't have a crazy amount of financial resources to invest in the business, and it's just gonna be you, so you don't have a great team. So the biggest bottleneck of your energy is going to be you. So you as the founder is going to be the biggest source of energy. All the energy into the business is gonna come from you, because there's no money that you can put in, and there's no team members that also put in energy. It's just gonna be you. Then, when we go a bit further, then the energy source changes a bit, and you can start putting in money. So this is probably, you are gonna be the main source of energy, at least when you get to 10, 15, 20,000, depending a bit on your strategy. But 10 to 20,000 a month, it's just gonna be you who are gonna affecting the energy and the inputs going into the business. But then later on the stages, when you hit 10, 15, 20,000 a month, you can finally start using your energy and reinvesting the profits of the business back into the agency. So pretty much how this works is you can either hire team members or tools or help or experience. And this is the way how you can also allocate your capital later on. The first focus on you, for everyone who is below 20,000 a month, the main bottleneck we established is you. How can you put in more energy? Really simple. You have to work more and you need to focus better. So really your energy, when it's just talking about you, your energy is dedicated by 2 things. Hours you work, times your focus. So if you just, hours you work plus your focus. And this results in the actual final amount of energy that you put in. So energy. And pretty much why this is important to understand is a lot of people are just focusing on working more hours. Bro, I work 12 hours a day, I work 15 hours a day, I work 16 hours a day. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's proper hustle porn, proper entrepreneurship, hustle motivation culture. Yeah, it makes sense. Sometimes you have to work a lot. And it's glamorized a lot. But like the big need, like there's a huge needle that is your focus, and this is what a lot of people are really bad at, especially when you're starting out. Because if you're just starting out, the chances are that you have never actually had to learn how to focus. Yeah, maybe if you went through college and you went like really hardcore on schoolwork, you had to focus there. But in a lot of cases, like those skills, like you never really understand how to translate them into building your business. And what I mean by this is, like if you work, let's say you work 10 hours a day, and your focus is, like, once again, this is a little bit of a random unit to measure, but let's say we just measure that your focus is 0.5 units. Like you're half of the time you're really focused. You're 50% focused, you know? This would mean that you actually get the total results is 5 units of energy. 5 units of energy would be the result. But then if there's some person who works 5 hours a day and their focus is twice as high as yours, they're going to get the same exact input. So what we like, it's so much easier to increase your focus and just focus more and focus better and get into a flow state way better than it is to increase your hours, especially when you're starting out, because the chances are that you might be in school, you might be working a 9-to-5 job, so you don't have an unlimited hours, especially if you have a family or a social life or some hobbies. It is not always super easy to increase your hours. You might only have like a limited amount of time that you can work on the business every single day. So then the question really just becomes, how do we increase our focus? So the main thing we need to understand is there are 2 ways our brain operates. There's let's just call it type A brain operation and type B. And this is something I think I saw it from Alex Becker like a few years ago, and it really, really changed how I look at focusing, because it's extremely, extremely powerful. So the first one is what happens when you start working. So you start on a new task, you sit down on a task, you're like, okay, I'm going to write this sales letter, I'm going to write this cold email campaign, I'm going to do this and that. You know, your brain, pretty much how it operates, is just going to go in places like this. And this is going to go on for the first 15 to 30 minutes, depending a bit on yourself. So for the first 15 to 30 minutes, your brain is just going to be going all over the place. It's just trying to figure out what is the most efficient way to approach this task, approach this problem. Your brain is like really good subconsciously, really great at finding efficient ways to work, but it just takes some time because it needs to analyze all of the different factors of the task and how much energy you have left, etc. Boom. So for the first 15-30 minutes, your brain is just going to be going all over the place like this. And it's not really efficient. Like it's not extremely efficient at all. It's actually really inefficient. But then after 15-30 minutes, our brain changes from A state to B state, and it has identified the target. Okay, boom, this is the best way for us to complete this task. It's just going to go supersonic, boom, and this is going to go laser speed straight ahead. And this can also be like demonstrated like this. When you start working, you slowly start building up momentum and start building up focus. And then after 15-30 minutes, we go from A to B stage and our brain just focuses, you know? And we are going to be like 3 to 5 times more efficient when we are at this stage. You know, it's proven that when you're in a flow state, your brain operates 3 to 5 times more efficiently, and you can pretty much get 3 to 5 times more stuff done with the same time when you're in flow state. But what most people do is they start working and they start doing some task, and 5 minutes in or 10 minutes in or 15 minutes in, they get a notification on their phone, or they get a Slack message, or they have something, they check YouTube, or they check Twitter, or they check IG, they do something. And this always breaks up the flow. And this throws you, boom, in the beginning of the curve. So most people, they just spin through this curve, boom, like this. And they never actually get here. And sometimes you might get there, maybe you're dialing your work for 30 minutes straight, you get here, and then you check your phone, you get a notification, you have notification on, your friend calls you, something interrupts you, and boom, you once again go here. So most people, when they work, like 80% of their working time is just spent on this sector, like a stage of working, which means that they're missing out on this huge 3 to 5x efficiency boost and just focus boost when working. So you're never actually like really using your fullest potential. So the easiest, most bang for a buck way to increase your like focus and get more energy into the system is when you are working, just fucking work, you know? Like put away your phone, put it on airplane mode, put off all the notifications, let your friends know that they can't interrupt you right now, make like a agreement with yourself that you're not going to check social media. You can block off all the sites. Like just make sure there's nothing else. Just sit in a room with your laptop and work and do nothing else, you know? Because this way, when you start working, you can get here you can get the 3 to 5x boost, like the stage B, and you can just work 3 to 5 times more efficiently. And this is going to take some practice. You're not going to be able to do it perfectly when you get started. You're not going to be like picture perfect flow entrepreneur, but it's like a muscle that you need to train. The same way how you need to train your biceps and you hit the gym, or train your chest when you hit the gym, or train whatever in life, like train playing the piano, you also need to train and focus on focusing. You need to consciously make an effort to focus more and focus better. And then over time, as you get better at it, it will be an automatic task. You always like, boom, okay, now it's time to do work, put these things away that are going to distract me, and just going to be working, you know? And if you just make this task, and if you just put in like really, really basic things of getting rid of the distractions and doing nothing else than working, you're going to be like immediate 3 to 5xing the energy that you can put into the business. And this means, once again, if we go back here, if you 3 to 5x, let's say you 3x the energy here, you're going to get 3x higher results. That's just how it works. It is that simple. Even if your agency is completely trash, you're going to get a trash multiplier on the energy that you're putting in, but you're still going to get 3 times higher results. So just by not getting interrupted. Because like most people, when they work, their life looks like this, or their work looks like this. This is their, like, let's say 5 hours of working. 5 hours of working. They start work and boom, 15 minutes in, they check their phone. I'm going to change the color. 15 minutes in, they check their phone. Then 5 minutes go by, they go grab a snack. 15 minutes in again, they check social media. Then 20 minutes later, their friend calls. Then they work once again for like, let's say 25 minutes. Boom, they get interrupted again by something else. They look out the window, they do something, you know, boom. Okay, they remember, I have to fucking do this or do that. And then they start doing just random shit. So actually their 5 hours of work in reality is like 30 minutes of work, which means that you're working 30 minutes a day, which makes it fairly hard to build an actual business. And that is also why I think like the hustle culture is so glamorized, and why people are always talking about working 12 hours, 16 hours a day, is because they just can't focus. So they are forced to work 12 hours a day to get 3 hours of work done a day. And yeah, there's like 100%, I'm not saying that there isn't going to be times when you're going to be working a lot. Sometimes your brain is just like so mushed, so you're like have crazy stress, you haven't slept well, there's so many things happening, you're not going to be able to focus, and you just have to work like 12, 13, 14 hours a day. It still happens to me. But as long as you just do this in most days, like on the most days that you work, you're going to be so much more efficient, and you're going to also be working less, which lets your brain rest more and come up with better ideas, etc. Also, easy ways to increase your focus is just sleep better, you know, like just sleep 8 hours a day. I know, like, or 8 hours a night. I know it's a little bit of a cliche, but it actually has a huge impact. Sleep 8 hours a night, exercise regularly. Don't eat like crazy high fat, high carb foods in the morning, because then your body needs to process it and it's gonna like really destroy your energy. And just like basic things: sleep, train, eat clean, drink a lot of water, and just put away the distractions. I know it's fucking simple, and you've heard this in 1,000 videos, but this is the easiest way for you to increase the energy that's going into your business. And then of course, after you have your focus dialed in, you can of course also increase the hours by just like getting rid of shit that doesn't matter. Like, don't go out clubbing, don't watch TikTok, don't fucking watch Netflix, and all of these things. And I know it sucks. Like, if you need to get rid of your hobbies and your social life, it's gonna have a bit of a negative effect as you're building the business, but it's just so much easier like to get started like that. Just focus and work more. And then of course, down the line, when you start hitting the 10, 20, 30,000 a month, depending on, once again, a bit on like how much time you have and how you want to go about building your business, like easy ways to increase the energy is, for example, hiring a team member. Because if you hire a team member that does an extra 3 hours a day of work, you go from 5 to 8, you know? So hire a team member. or buy more efficient tools. So for example, a tool that lets you spend less time on doing something shit. There might be like a lead scraping process that is like taking you 2 hours a day, but then you buy a more expensive, better tool and suddenly it takes 30 minutes a day because there's better features, better options, better automation, better integrations, whatever it might be. So once again, that way you can put in more time on high leverage tasks. Or help. Help is also a fucking huge thing. This is, I think, like the easiest way to reinvest in your business. Like this is what I'm a huge fan of. Like in the past 2 years, I have probably spent like 150,000 on like consulting and coaching and just like help, because it's a huge hack. Like we hired an operational consultant, was one of the best moves we've ever made. I paid someone $50,000 to help me write sales letters and VSLs, a fucking huge move. So we spend a lot of money on just getting help, getting experience, getting coaching, getting consulting. And I have never, or maybe like a few times, but like 95% of the time when I invest into coaching or consulting or whatever it might be, into masterminds, into communities, it has never been a negative ROI investment. Of course, you still have to do the work to pay off the investment. Like you can't just pay someone 5,000 and then just fucking sit there and fiddle your thumbs and hope that they make you money. But you, as long as you put in the work and actually capitalize on the things that you're doing, like buying for expertise and experience and just help, fucking huge. This is, I think, the easiest way to scale, because you just shortcut so much random shit, Like for example, I paid 50,000 to learn sales letters and VSLs, but now after that training and after that like experience that I got, I can charge 30,000 for a sales letter. So, I have the option. Of course, if I don't go out there and sell the sales letter, I'm never gonna get an ROI. But if I go out there and do deals and sell the sales letter and hop on sales calls and do prospecting and all these things, boom, a huge ROI investment. And I guarantee you that has paid me like 10x that investment over the last year. So yeah, that's pretty much how you want to look at creating more energy. So this is going to be a huge and fairly easy thing. Like it's really simple. Just have better habits in life, have a better lifestyle, buy coaching, buy consulting, hire team members to remove the low-leverage tasks out of your life, buy better tools when you have the money for it. Don't have your phone with you when you work, sleep 8 hours a night, and you're going to be you can literally like 10x the energy that you put into the business just by doing like those few simple things. And of course, if you 10x that, you also 10x the results that you're getting. Yeah. So that's simple. That's easy. But then we go into the more quote unquote complex part, in my opinion, more complex part, which is the multiplier that you're getting. So once again, let's say we are putting every single day, we're putting in 10 units of energy into the business, into the process. So like I already mentioned before, like the business acts as a multiplier. If you have a really shitty business, you can have maybe a 0.2x multiplier. Or if you have a really great business, you can have a 2x multiplier, which means that if you put in the same amount of energy, you're going to get 10x higher results here if you have 2x multiplier instead of 0.2x multiplier. So I hope that helps you understand it. But that at least how I see business is just like based on how good our niche and offering, funnel and operations and team process and SOPs and product and all of these things, how good those are, it's going to multiply the energy that we put in. Yeah. So look at your business as a multiplier of energy. That's really at the end of the day that it all is. Of course, there are a lot of you might be really, really attached to your business. You might have an emotional connection. For example, I have a tattoo of our logo here. Obviously, I'm really also emotionally invested into our business, but that's really at the end of the day what it is. It's just a multiplier of your energy. So how do we increase this multiplier? By making the business better. As simple as that. So if you look at business like this, if you just look at, for example, a lead generation agency, there are going to be few different places where our energy goes into. So we're going to look at it like this. We have our inputs, and then we have our outputs here. Boom. So on the input side of things, damn, that is a horrible drawing. On the input side of things, we have, for example, our cold emails. We have our sales calls. We have our client campaigns. We have our, whatever it might be, content, whatever we put inputs in. And then based on how good of a multiplier we have, that's what we're going to get outputs from, or that's what kind of output we're getting in. So if you, for example, let's say your sales process is absolutely fucked. Let's say you're getting a bunch of deals or a bunch of leads, you're getting a bunch of calls, you have a good product, good offer, everything, but your sales process is extremely fucked. Like it's going to limit the amount of output you're going to get. Because let's say boom, boom, boom. Okay, I'm going to draw this in a different color. But let's say we have like a bunch of inputs. We are putting a bunch of energy into the system. Boom. Like on the front end, everything looks great. But then the sales calls come in. It's gonna really limit the amount of outputs we are gonna get, you know? Because there's like, this is what like a bottleneck means, you know? We have a bottleneck in the business. So for example, if we have our cold email campaign, cold emails, and those cold emails go into sales calls or inbox management first, inbox management, and then sales call, and then client projects, and then performance payments. We need to look at this as like a continuous process. So it's like, damn, what a huge ROI. I have no idea why the ROI is that huge. Maybe I'm super zoomed in. Don't worry about it. Like, depending on what's happening here in the process, this is what like what we're gonna get out of it. So let's say we have really good cold email campaigns. We're really, really spitting heat there. We're sending a lot of volume, etc. But if our inbox management process is shit and we are not converting positive replies into calls, it doesn't matter how good of our sales calls or client projects or performance payments are, fulfillment is, because it's gonna all get bottlenecked here. Like we have a bunch of sales calls coming in, but then we can't convert positive replies in the sales calls. So obviously we're gonna be making less money. Yeah. So how I really want to look at your business is just a really, really simple system. You have different metrics here, and I actually have prepared like a great example for this. So these are all the metrics that, in my opinion, and from the 3 years of experience in like building 500 lead generation agencies of experience, matter. Like these are the only things that you really need to look at. If you have a shit show up rate, like half of your calls are only showing up. Like if you book 10 calls and you only get 5 people to show up, you're of course gonna make less money, you know, even if you have a really good closing rate. Or if you're really bad at service delivery and you can't get results for your clients, you're not gonna be making that much money in the back end because the clients are gonna churn, you're not gonna get good case studies, you can't charge high prices, etc. So all of these things need to be really aligned. So a really easy way to go about it is, obviously you can't just go out there and start optimizing. If you have no data on it, on the performance of your business, it's like impossible for you to optimize anything. You first have to get data. So a really easy thing to do, I'm gonna link this sheet down in the description, so you can go play around with it. What you do is you just pretty much map out your KPIs and then map out your actual performance every single month. And then based on that, you're gonna get a performance score, and yeah, it's that simple. So for example, if you want to send let's say your goal is to send 1,000 emails a week. So you want to send 4,000 emails. And then at the end of the month, you say that you only send 2,000. Boom. We immediately know that, okay, there is an issue with our cold email process. And then let's say we want to reach out to 1,000 fresh leads and we only reach out to 700 fresh leads. Boom, there's an issue. Then our open rate is, our KPI target is 60% open rate. But we actually get a 70% open rate. Okay, boom, there's nothing to worry about here. Reply rate, boom, 10%, and we get 8%. Okay, there's an issue. Positive reply rate, our goal is to get 20%, and we actually get 35%. Okay, that's good. Meetings booked. Let's say we want to book 50 meetings a month, and we only book 30. Boom. Showed up meetings. We want to have 35 show up, and we get fucking 25 to show up, boom, an issue once again. And this is pretty much how we want to be looking at it. Like every single metric, and if you run lead generation, this is like, in my opinion, like all the metrics that matter. Like how many cold emails are you sending? How many leads are you contacting? What is your open rate? What is your reply rate? What is your positive reply rate? What is your meeting book rate? What is your like show up rate? How many discovery calls are you hosting based on those show ups? How many qualified prospects were from the discovery calls, demos, closed deals, onboarding completed, campaigns, launched, mirror campaigns found, and case studies collected. Like how you really want to look at it is just take this sheet from description and fill out your KPI targets, what kind of numbers you want to be hitting. And then every single month, go out there and fill out what your actual performance was. And then the order of importance on how you want to optimize and work on the problems is the higher it is, the more important it is. Because for example, let's say your problem is that you want to send 5,000 emails a month and you only send 3,000 emails. This is going to be the highest bottleneck. Because if you actually get it to the KPI, or let's say this is 2.5, let's say if you actually get it to 5,000, like your KPI is, you're going to be doubling the amount of money you're going to be making if you just double the amount of emails, if everything else stays the same. So just pretty much fill out your KPI targets. And in my opinion, like when you're starting out, 5,000 emails a month is absolutely perfect. Around 2,000 of those should be new leads that you're reaching out to because you're going to be sending follow-ups. Open rate, 60% open rate is really good to have. If you get 5% reply rate, that is great. A 10% reply rate or 10% reply rate is, in my opinion, an absolute minimum. I would even go as far as saying 20%. Meetings booked, you want to be booking like from 5,000 emails or 2,000 leads contacted, you want to be booking at least 10 calls. I just had to do some maths in my head. 10 calls. You want to have at least 7 of those to show up. Discovery calls hosted, like 7 should be the same. Qualified prospects, half of those should be qualified. So let's say 4. Demos booked should be 4. Closed deals should at that point it should be like 1 to 2. So let's say just 1. Onboarding completed should be 1. Campaigns launched should be 1. Winners campaigns found 1. Case studies collected 1. And then of course, as you increase your metrics, you can bump these numbers up as well. But then you just put in these KPIs and then you map it out. How many emails did you actually send? Okay, I sent 3,000 emails. Leads contacted, I contacted 1,500 leads. Open rate was 70%. Reply rate was 8. Positive reply rate was 25. Boom. Meetings booked was 11. Showed up meetings, fucking 6. Boom, an issue. And then you fill out this whole thing. And then when the month has finished, you look at, okay, what is the biggest problem that I have? And it is the one that is going to be the highest up on the list. So if you you didn't hit your cold email sent KPI, this is the first number one problem that you need to fix. You need to first fix the problem of why you are not sending enough of cold emails. So, okay, is it my sending structure? Was I just too lazy? Did something break down? Did I not launch enough of campaigns? Whatever it might be. You figure out why didn't you send 5,000 emails? And then when you get it figured out, boom, the next month it's looking way better. Okay, what is our next problem? Okay, we didn't contact enough of leads. Okay, were we sending too many follow-ups? Boom, we fix that. And you get it to where you want it to be. Okay, showed up meetings. Showed up meetings is the next problem here. How can I increase our show up rate? Okay, I'm going to do a pre-call VSL. I'm going to frame the call better. I'm going to do pre-call automation. I'm going to call them before the meeting. And as long as you just work through these problems in order, and you get all of these to green, you're going to be scaling hard as fuck. As long as you your KPI targets are not completely shit. Like what you don't want to do is put really small targets. Like, oh, I'm going to send 500 emails this month. And damn, I absolutely fucking crush it. No, you still have to have big goals and big targets. But as long as you have big targets and you get them to green, you're going to be fucking winning. And this is I hope it makes sense to you because this is how I look at business, and it makes it so much easier because you actually are operating just on numbers. Very easier to operate based on this. You don't have to operate based on your gut feeling or just some fucking finding random tactics. You're actually operating based on something that can be tracked. And really the main thing is just fucking how much energy are you putting in? So how focused are you? How many hours are you working? Are you buying expertise or information? And okay, how can we increase the multiplier? Do we how good of a multiplier do we have? And that's really what you get in the end. And then of course, take the feedback and boom, change your for example, let's say that you try a new eating routine. You need to fucking change your meal plan, and then suddenly you're not productive at all, and you get bad results. You're like, holy fuck, I shouldn't be eating McDonald's for breakfast every single morning. I'm gonna change that, and then you get better results the next month. So yeah, I hope this makes sense. I think this is the best way to look at business, and this thinking model has really helped me out a lot throughout the past years. So I hope it is valuable. Like the video, subscribe, let me know in the comments if you enjoyed. If you want to start your own B2B lead generation agency, go check out the link in the description, 24-hour Kickstart. It's a free course, fucking amazing. Shows you how to start your own lead generation agency in 24 hours. And of course, also go take this template from the description. You can just I'll just link the Google Sheet. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.